Hi there everyone, it's Johnny Miller from Point Blank Online Music School, back once more to show you some really cool stuff with Ableton Live 8 and sounds and samples from clickproduce.com. This week I'm in the mood for some drum and bass. So what I've done, I've put together a little drum and bass sketch, a drum part, a little analog bass part and a little stab riff line, which I'll play you in a moment. But it's a really good opportunity for me to show you this really cool pack from MVP Loops called Screaming Synth Leads. Let me go into this package and show you what you get. 3 folders, Rex files, Apple loops if you use Logic, and a folder labeled Acid. This is great for any software really. You've basically got a series of folders labeled up in BPM. Now, in Ableton Live, the beauty of running Ableton Live is that you can kind of work elements and samples that are designed, in any tempo and snap them to the tempo you want them to play at. So I'm going to go into the 85 BPM folder here and play you some of these. They're little riffs. Little melody lines and hook lines, and this is one of the things that a lot of producers struggle with, especially if they're not necessarily, keyboard players. Coming up with these little riffs and licks that you can put on top of loops essentially. The nice thing as well, the way they're arranged, musically it shows the melody's root note, the note that most of the music in the loop works around. So for instance here, I've put together a little bass part here in A minor, and let me just show you inside the clip. Here's the bass notes, they're all playing on A1. Let me play this. This is the beat, just nice little drum and bass loop, 178 BPM. And at the moment, because I'm just starting this track, I've just programmed up the bass line rhythmically around the beats. That's quite important with drum and bass. I've also got a little stab element that I've picked out from my own sample collection that works. It's in key with the bass basically, and I quite like the flavour on that. So the main thing is that all the music I add to this track, I need to be careful that and aim for samples and loops that work in the key of A. So I'm going to go into this folder here and find one that's in A minor. So this one for instance. And again, with all my tutorials, I'll probably say this every time I do a tutorial, but you want to make these sounds and loops your own somehow. So I'm not necessarily going to play it back in its entirety. I'm probably just going to use the first few notes, or maybe the second few notes, or the second bar, or the fifth bar maybe. I'm going to keep it fairly simple today though. I'm just going to go into another one of these folders. Let's go into, 105 BPM and find again another A minor riff. Let's use this one. And of course they snap straight away. Musically they're in key with what's going on. And because of Ableton's warping function, even though I took that from the 85 BPM folder, it's playing it back at 178 rather. BPM. Same with this 105 BPM one. It's playing back at 178. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start riffing off those two. Maybe just firing them off one after the other. Nice and simple. Straight away I've kind of got a bit of an idea of how I could use those. Lastly, I'm just going to add some effects to this, which is always nice, just to get the riffs sounding a little bit more kind of polished and kind of finished. just firing off those different clips in Session View, I'm starting to build an idea of how I could use them in my track. Okay, so you can learn loads of cool stuff like this at pointblankonline.net. And yeah, I'll be back once more next week to show you some more cool stuff with samples and sounds from clickproduce.com and Ableton Live 8.